The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, everyone. We are today going to be looking at MSIS, the Migrant Student Information System staffing report. This is a new report this year, only in that it is replacing an old Excel spreadsheet that everyone knew and loved as the end-of-year report. So the new staffing report will ask for exactly the same information as you've already been providing, but I think it will be a much, much easier and quicker way for you to get that data to us, much easier for us to look at and approve, and I think will generally make our efficiency much, much better. So let me jump right into it. If you look at the screen, you should see MSIS is currently open. And this, I'm not going to cover how to log into it, but just so you can see, I am going to log in now. And I know that you know how to do that. And I was already in it, so it's just reactivated my session, so I didn't actually have to put in any data. What I do want to do is give you a little bit of general information before I show you an example. And so this end-of-year report or staffing report is used strictly for reporting staff who are being paid out of migrant funds. And so there are a lot of people who help migrant students who care greatly about migrant students, but are not paid out of migrant Title I-C migrant funds. And so they would not be included in this report. And if you're a liaison watching this, you might think, well, how would I know that? And I will tell you, this is a report that is generally done by the administrator or by the migrant program coordinator. If they've asked you to do it or would like to work with you to do it, that's perfectly fine. If you have access to MSIS and a password, you can actually go in and do the report. But generally, this is the migrant program coordinator who would submit this report. And if you are asked to do it, I would be sure to have your coordinator look over your work before you click submit in the end. You only will need to add a row for each role that exists in your district. In the past, you had to include zeros for anyone that you didn't have. In this case, you will only include those roles of people you do have. So less zeros for you to type in. There does need to be a separate row for each different role paid out of migrant funds, and you'll see what that looks like in just a minute. If someone is divided between two roles, you should only report their migrant role in this report, not if they're, say, funded out of Title I-A or Title III. You would not report that part of their day as part of this report. If you have someone that is split between two different roles within the migrant program, they will appear on two different rows, and that will make sense as soon as we pull it up and look at it. And you will be putting in regular year and summer school for each position at the same time. And this is critical because if you don't, you won't be able to edit a row after you've completed it. So if you're not sure how many certified teachers there were during the regular school year, but you know there were 5 during the summer school program, you need to find out how many there were so that you can do both of those at the same time. Once you've saved a row and moved to the next one, it won't let you edit the ones you've already done. You can, however, easily and quickly delete a row and re-enter it, so don't worry if you make a mistake, it's fixable. So I'm going to select a district. Your district, when you look here, should just automatically be there. And I'm going to just go alphabetically to Aberdeen as my example school. And once you're in your district, on the left-hand side, you will see 2015-2016 data collection. That is where you will click. And then this will pop up. And once you've opened it, it will always have this red validation issues notice until you've submitted it. I wish it wasn't that way, but it is. What that means is that you just haven't completed the report yet, which obviously since we just opened it, you haven't finished it. So instead, go to the tab that says Staffing Report. So I'm clicking there. And this is what you'll see. And it says to enter your MEP staff by headcount and full-time equivalents employed during the school year. Enter only if migrant funds were used to support all or any part of the position. And the FTEs represent only the migrant-funded part of an employee's day if they are split between more than one program. So let's say I'm in Aberdeen, and in Aberdeen I have a family liaison. And there's no order importance. You don't have to enter these in any particular order. So I'm going to say I have a family liaison, and I know that she works, or he, but in this case, let's say it's she. She works, and she is one person. I have one liaison, and this can only be a whole number. We aren't allowed to chop employees in half. It would be very messy. And so this represents the person, the name, the face that you see when you say family liaison. That represents that person or people. But on the FTEs, the full-time equivalents, now we could have only a portion of her day included for migrants. So let's say she is 0.5 of an FTE. That means half of her time is spent doing migrant activities. And let's say she also works during summer, and then let's say during the summer she works full-time just for the migrant program, which is not at all unusual. So then what you see is a completed row that shows the family liaison or liaisons for the district for both regular school and summer school. Once you're sure that this is correct, then you'll click Add. I will mention now that you could have a smaller point, a smaller decimal. You could have 0.25 of a person's time, or you could have 0.75. It will allow you to put in any amount up to the 100th place or the 1000th place. When we aggregate the data, we will only report for hundredths, but you could put anything down to 1% of a person's salary. The way I have it right now, it's 75% of this person's salary. So let's say that I've looked at that and I'm now sure that I have it right. I click Add, and you'll see that I have a second row, and now I get to choose. Do I have anyone else that is paid out of migrant funds during the year? Well, let's say that I have a graduation specialist or a tutor who is paid, who is a highly qualified paraprofessional. They passed the practice. They are in that category. And I do know that that highly qualified is changing with the new law, but for right now we're working on 1516 data, so we'll still continue to use those words. And I'm going to say that this is, again, a whole person, not half a person, but this time only 0.5 of her time is spent during the regular school year for FTEs. However, in summer school, perhaps I have 3 paraprofessionals, so the number 3 because that's 3 different people, individual, unique individuals, but they each only work, well, let's say they each all work full-time during summer school. And so now I've said that during the regular school year, I have 1 person working half-time as a paraprofessional in the migrant program, but in summer school, I have 3 people working full-time, so they each get 1 full FTE, which is a full-time equivalent. And I want to point out here that summer FTEs are based on a shorter, oftentimes a shorter day than the regular school year. So the regular school year, your school's full-time equivalent would be however many hours a regular full-time person would work, 7.5 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours, whatever it is for your district, that's what you're basing this calculation on. For summer school, your program may be from 8 to noon or 8 to 1. It might be 4 hours. It might be 5 hours. That is the full-time day, and you're looking at the percentage of that day that the person works paid out of migrant funds. So it can be based on a much shorter day. And then let's say for this district, we also have an administrator. Whoops. You see what I just did there? I accidentally forgot. This is my paraprofessional, and this is good to remember, is that I do need to add that line so I get a new blank line, and now I can enter my administrator. The administrator, it might only be a tiny fraction of the day. So for an administrator, it's still going to be a whole person, but we can say for this person, maybe they get a very small stipend, and that stipend is actually only 1% of the salary. So that would be 0.01. And during the summer school, however, I have a full-time administrator who just does summer school, which is also very typical. So now I have all 3 roles. Before I save and finish, I'm going to click Add. So all of those 3 roles are in the table. They all exist. Interesting. I just noticed that put it as 0.1 and not 0.01. I will have to check on that and find out why I did that. But anyway, the idea is still correct. I will check on the technical aspect to see if there's something that needs correcting. So then what you're going to do is you're going to click on Save and Finish Later. This will allow you, if you had, let's say I suddenly realized, oh man, I'm not sure that I was right on my administrator. Like I look at that and I'm like, I don't think that's right. I need to check on that. And so you could save it the way it is to finish later, or you could make corrections by deleting a row now and putting in new numbers. So you see I can just replace that row by deleting the old one and adding a new one. In any case, you can stop, save and finish, and come back the next day with better data, more data. And then once, I'm not going to save this because I don't want to add it to Aberdeen's report, but if you save this, next you will see a button that says Submit. Be sure when you are finished that you do submit. And then you will also get a message back saying that you have been approved once I've had a chance to look at them. And I've looked through a few, and most of them are very quick and easy to approve. In some cases, I've looked at one and I thought, I don't know that they're actually paying 3 teachers full-time during the regular school year. I think maybe they just got it in the wrong column, so it was very quick and easy for me to call that district and say, is it possible that these were your summer school teachers? And the person I was talking to said, oh, yeah, that's what I meant. And it was very easy for me to send it back, for them to correct it, resubmit it, and for me to approve it. So this, I hope, will be a much better process, that you will find it simple to do and simple to use. Good news for the future, there will be a second report added that will be your summary of your re-interview process that you will see after the rollover starting in late September, where during all of this next coming school year, you'll be able to enter in your re-interview data as it happens while it's fresh, and then at the end of the year, you'll just be able to click Submit. So we're trying to eliminate Excel spreadsheets and Google Forms and all of these other ways that we've collected information in the past, and make it kind of one-stop shopping between the MSIS and CFSGA. For those of you that do that, you'll know we collect quite a lot there too. So we're really trying to streamline this and just make it much simpler for you to use. So if you have any questions, feel free to call me at any time. I'm most happy to walk you through this process, but hopefully for most of you, you're just going to find it a breeze to get done. So thank you very much. There will be future videos on how to use MSIS, but this is the first one, and I very much appreciate you listening. Have a wonderful day.